Just before getting to the satisfying painting part of the rebuild, the most visual part that changes the Jetski from an old abandoned Jetski into a completely new looking model. With a fresh new engine and sticker kit with new color scheme, there's a few things that I need to get out of the way before I can put on the most expensive paint that I've ever bought, because it's super high quality and made for fancy glossy boats and yachts too. I got a 2-part epoxy undercoat and a 2-part gloss polyurethane base and clear. I'm going to be painting the bottom of the hull first because of course it's the part you see the least, so it allows me to get my eye in for spraying this product. And realistically, jet skis sometimes get beached, although I always try to avoid it and just anchor it a bit further out, but sometimes weather doesn't allow it. But of course, I'm still going to do it as good as possible. You can see this has been beached and has some chips and dings from its life, so first up we'll be sanding, filling and smoothing this whole surface. Also, you might notice there is still a thing or two like the impeller housing that I need to get off, which I've been avoiding up until now because it was way too hard when the ski was on the trailer because it is stuck on with some very strong adhesive, but I do want a complete respray since we're going this far, so I'll get to that too. But for now, I'm just going to be sanding away and smoothing out a lot of the imperfections so we can see what we're working with. On a side note, now that the ski is upside down to paint the bottom, this is the perfect time to be able to address the reinforcement for cracks from a previous episode, where you can see that instead of trying to apply epoxy upside down, the epoxy and fiberglass can form a bit of a pool and really strengthen this weaker area with a thicker fillet. I've gone through and put epoxy filler where there is little dings and scratches and things over the hull, now that it has a good bonding surface. And I'll go through this process a few times to correct any changes in the shape. Now also, a reason I couldn't get the impeller housing off was because one of the bolts actually broke off a piece of the housing that it goes into, so it was just locked in. I tried everything to get it off, but just couldn't get it through or hold that part still to spin the bolt. So we ended up cutting it off, and I'll just replace that bolt later. You can see what I'm talking about here. With the fastener out the way, the only thing holding it on now is that super strong adhesive, but now with good access and the ski upside down, I can just pry it off. If you're concerned about any gouging from the tool, don't worry, that'll all get addressed and filled properly at this stage anyway. Now with that out the way, there's a lot of cleanup to do in these intricate areas that you can only do by hand, so it just took a bit of time. Front drawbar or toe eye, whatever you want to call it. If yours has got Allen keys like this, I was concerned because this covers over these, because I had read that some of these had nuts on the inside of the hull that weren't accessible, and then you had to drill a hole from inside the hull in order to access this. But I figured I'd do it first, undo it first before drilling a hole through the hole, because I figured I can undo it if bolts fall in or the nuts fall in, then I can drill a hole. But nothing happened there. These came out and these are stuck or riveted on from the back, so that's all good to remove this front one. Just deepened this one little plug. With those ones deepened, that can all come out of there. This cable can be out of the way for painting. Now for the sponsons that help with handling and cornering. The bracket that they mount onto, someone has snapped off a bolt inside the threads, so I'll have to drill it out. And since I'm doing one, and actually the same thing on the other side, I figured I might as well rethread them all, because actually a reason that this is happening is the metal that they chose for this seems to be quite soft. And then with the salt water and whatever, it becomes very weak and also bonds or corrodes onto the bolt. So I figured a nice marine grade thread insert should stop this from happening. So real quick, it's just drill the threads out, vacuum out the dust debris, retap a thread for the insert, and put in a fresh stainless helicoil that brings it back to the original thread, but now stronger. On the other side, it's exactly the same thing, but this bracket actually snapped inside the hole because the metal is that soft material. It's almost like a pewter, which is probably good for corrosion resistance when it's new, but just, well, snapped now. The reason it happened on this side was that somebody tried to drill out this bolt, but drilled off center, so some of the hard bolt threads were still stuck inside the bracket, which then couldn't be drilled because the drill would always push away from the bolt, which is much harder. So I tried to tap the threads out with a little sharp tip type punch, but just tapping with a hammer actually snapped this bracket, and then it just wouldn't have been as strong when you're trying to put some Sponssons onto it later. So I had to cut a hole in the hole from the inside to get this out because it's bolted in during construction, and after digging through the foam that they fill the sides with, I managed to get this out. And outside the Jetski, managed to get the threads out, and now that it's out, I'll have to fill this hole with JB Weld and then re-drill it centrally and put a helicoil in it, which will again strengthen the threads. And then also, for this piece that was broken in a few places, like over there, what I've done is just made a dam out of tape. Now I can fill in all over here with fiberglass. I'm going to put in some small chop strand around there as well, in and around here, and then I can fill this thing with epoxy and make a fiberglass rod right the way along the back and make it super strong. Now, after some basic cleanup and drilling the holes, it will never snap again, so I put it back inside the hole with the rubbers it came with to seal it again. Then I filled the cavity with expanding foam again and re-fiberglassed the hole that I cut so it will never leak or get water in it. But it was all too hard to film and show in a tight space inside the back of the Jetski, but now with some new helicoils tapped and inserted, that piece is done. Now it's just time for some drop sheets to go down for when I'm painting, since I don't have a dedicated booth. Okay, these are the products I have for painting the ski with primer. It's an epoxy-based primer undercoat, made for boats and jet skis and the like. There's a spraying thinner, which is quite self-explanatory. It helps with spraying, and that needs to be mixed at a specific ratio of up to 33% of the volume once you've mixed the base and the hardener. I've then got an epoxy thinner and cleaner, which is a separate product from the spraying thinner. You do not mix this to spray. This essentially, even though it says thinner, is just the cleaner. So once I'm done with everything, this is just to help clean up some of the containers in the gun. This I'll be mixing with these two in this cup, which is 3 parts of this one to 1 part of that one. And once you've mixed that, then you can mix up to 33%. So I'm going to go with a nice round 25% of the volume of this one added to both of these, which will then give me a nice good spraying base. I'm going to measure out 3 parts of the base with 1 part of the hardener using this measuring jug. Then I'm going to add that to this cup and mix it quickly. Then I'm going to add 25% using this measuring jug to that. It says to give it 10 minutes to begin bonding. Then I'm going to do the final wipe down of the ski during that 10-minute wait for this. Then I'm going to quickly pour this into the gun and begin spraying. While that one's just sitting for 10 minutes, I'm going to really quickly grab a cloth and some brake cleaner, and I'm going to wipe down the ski hole for the final time, and then I'm going to pour that into the gun and begin spraying. It did start to get dark, but I gave it 2 coats of primer, and now that can be left to cure overnight and for at least 24 hours, before being sanded again and painted with a few coats of base and clear, which is largely the same process, but just without sanding between them. just want to mention that I had to do this in weather that was dry and didn't have any dew forming overnight. If you have a conditioned spray booth, then that'll be fine, but I just had to leave it outside. And you can't have any moisture even near the paint, or it'll dull, could even bubble and ruin the finish. So just be aware of that. But thankfully, I was very happy with the gloss level of these paints. Have a look at this. This thing is shining just as bright, if not brighter, than the brand new gel coat, but now it's polyurethane. And yes, this is also rated for below the waterline, and since it's a jet ski, it's also not constant immersion, as in like weeks in the water like boats or yachts. Now I'm just excited for doing the top side, which will be the biggest visual change. So it's time to flip it over and get ready for that with a lot of sanding and getting the prep perfectly smooth. Of course, I'll also sand the primer and do it again if needed to get the smooth finish I'm after. So let's get right into it. It's fairly much the same process as the bottom, with just fixing a crack or two. So now that I've got the hang of it and explained the products and processes, I'll throw on some music and let you see for yourself.
Caught up with you.
absolutely thrilled with the gloss level that came up with this paint, and of course, now with it being a very blank canvas, I'm super excited to put it all back together and see all the pieces fall into place. And I've got a new sticker kit inspired by the newer model's color schemes that I think will tie this complete engine and body rebuild together wonderfully. Click the next video or playlist to stick around for that. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like down below, and if you like satisfying restorations, subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes or projects. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.